Sandy.
Hello, folks out there. Welcome to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, live Wednesday night, June 19th, to discuss the pile of shit episode 3 of the Acolyte. If anybody is familiar with this supposed Star Wars series from Disney recently, you probably have seen all the great, wonderful comments and articles about this show. And if this is your first time joining us, well, welcome to the shit show special, people, because we're about to get down with this shit. Anyways, we got a great panel tonight. Of course, I have my trusty sidekick and co-host, Mr. Jeff S. True Knowledge. How we doing, Jeff?
Let's do it, baby. Occulty.
Excellent. Occulty, people. Occulty. That's what Jeff referred to the show for many months before we told him it was the Acolyte, which was great. We loved it when he kept calling it the Occulty. It was great.
I'm going back, sir. I'm going back to the Occulty.
He's going back to the Occulty, folks. We, of course, have returning Mr. Booze and Chill himself, Ramon. How we doing, Raymond?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to be here.
Excellent to have you, sir. And who is your fine guest behind you there with the great Viking helmet?
That would be Darth. Fuck, I honestly didn't have anything clever. I was not ready for that. But yeah, it's just Darth. It's Darth. This is supposed to light up, but I don't know what's wrong with it. I think it ran out of battery.
That's Darth Plagueis Jr.
Oh, there you go. Darth Plagueis Jr. Yeah.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Great to have Darth with us, too, as well. Of course, we have returning Mr. Darth Leach himself. How we doing, Mr. Leach?
Annoyed and depressed over this episode.
I could imagine. And
we'll get into that.
It's just going to be great to hear about that. And then, of course, we have joining us for the first time, I believe, Mr. Brad from Nerd Corps Pod.
Actually, the third time there, Cyber.
Oh, third time. Oh, sorry.
Fourth.
My bad.
Fourth. I think,
how memorable. Oh, fourth. Oh, goddamn. Okay.
Wow. He's so forgetful. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, apparently.
So welcome again, Brad. Well, thank you for coming to talk about this trashy shit pile that we're going to talk about tonight. So,
I mean,
welcome.
We were talking about Shogun again, so I think I got lied to.
Shogun. Yeah.
Can we just talk about Shogun?
Yeah, can we go back?
No, we can't talk about Shogun right this second.
Episode 3 of Shogun was great.
Yeah, yes, that was, yes. The whole series of Shogun was amazing. And of course, we also have joining us, coming in at the tail end here, Mr. J Rant. How we doing, J Rant?
We're good. What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Joey? Glad to see you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, as always.
Always. All right. So, right off the bat, question for you guys. So, going into this third episode, what were you expecting? Now, don't think about what you think now after seeing the episode. What were you thinking going into this episode after maybe you heard or read anything prior to watching the episode? Starting with you, Ramon.
Damn, that's tricky because if we start from the beginning, there was what was that character's name? The one that's killing off the Jedis? I'm such bad at names. May. There we go. Well, first of all, that's like my 7-year-old's name, so that was pretty cool. And the fact that it started off like that, it brought my attention because I'm a huge sucker when it comes to Jedi anything. I'm just a huge sucker for that. So it kind of already sucked me in the beginning. And then there was like mentions of the Force not being what we thought it was. It's supposed to be something that's not I don't want to say the word holy, because the Jedis are supposed to be like almost like these really badass like priests or whatever. And then this shit comes in saying that, oh no, it's actually witchery. And I thought, I think it's cool, but that's coming from somebody who actually likes that kind of shit. I'm into horror and stuff like that, so I like that little twist. Me personally, I know you guys are not exactly very excited about it, but I'm actually enjoying that. Just the fact that they're actually throwing this huge twist to it. But again, that's just me. Don't call me out on this.
I'm gonna.
You're all looking at me like you little fuck.
What do you think, Garth?
Well, just to add what Raymond was saying, it was almost as if to these witches the Force is almost like a god or a deity, as opposed to it just being this force that surrounds us, binds us, penetrates us. So I wasn't too hung up on that. I thought it was kind of a cool, different take. But leading up to the episode, I expected episode 3 to kind of really get going. That was going to be the springboard to the rest of the series. That was just going to blow my mind, and I couldn't wait for the next. I couldn't wait for episode 4, and so on and so forth. But man, did we get a hot pile of garbage? But we'll touch on that later.
Excellent. Brad, same question, sir.
After watching the first 2 episodes, I don't know how anybody had high hopes for this. It's not the most horrible thing I've ever seen, but it's not good in any way. Honestly, the characters are very forgettable, except for Master Soul. He's really the only one I kind of truly followed. And their backstories are not very well explained in the first 2 episodes. So going to the third, it was like, I don't know if it can get worse. So I'm hoping it gets better. And not so much, but that's where we're at.
All right, Joey.
Well, after watching the first 2 episodes, I really didn't know what to expect for the third one, because I didn't look at anything to like get any spoilers. I didn't look at anything to get an idea of what the Acolyte was going to be about, before, if it was going to be before the Old Republic. The first 2 episodes for me were kind of like mediocre. They were okay. I like some of the ideas on it, but it's just, it definitely, the approach or applying it is a mess.
Okay. Same question for you, Mr. Jaff.
Well, I mean, look, I already heard going in about the Immaculate Force conception. So right there, I was already dubious and really worried about what I was going to be getting into. And then waiting to watch the episode, then I saw this too, right? And that really fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, Although it's a great picture. Hats off to whoever made that. I'm assuming that's kind of like what happened.
That was fucking great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the best thing. That's the best thing I'd seen that day. So no,
Acolyte is like a good name for a clitoris. But anywho, moving on. Go on, Jeff.
Yeah. So I was just dreading. I think that's why I waited until yesterday to watch the episode, because I knew it was going to be so bad. Force scissoring, Brad. Exactly. A lot of scissoring going on. So I really had, my expectations were that it was going to be a piece of shit episode with lots of piece of shit, MCU, Star Wars MCU type shit going on, with all this female power. It's Star Wars is now girl power or whatever that they got going on with Star Wars. It's all girl power now. Girl Star Wars. I knew we were gonna get lots of that shit. And so that's what we got, baby. We got some girl power, baby. We got girl power episode. It was great. Okay, USA.
Oh, okay. There we go. Kind of go back to what Ramon was saying about the witchcraft part. The witchcraft part, I don't think I have an issue with. I don't mind witches. We saw witches, of course, in Ahsoka. We have seen witches in previous Star Wars installments like that. And space witches are something that we have seen, but at the same time, though, when the overall theme of the witches is women power or has to do with something that is completely opposite of what Star Wars is, it just doesn't make it cool anymore. And so I get where you're coming from, Raymond, about the whole witch thing. I think, yeah, witch things are really cool, horror films, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, when it's not exactly what witches are usually in other senses, it doesn't make it as enjoyable, I think. And I think that's why a lot of people probably have an issue with the witches, if anybody does. But I doubt anybody has problems out of all the things in episode 3. I don't think anybody has problem with the witches element. I don't even have a problem with that. Like I said, I think that's cool. Oh, Mr. Darth does. Mr. Darth does.
It's cool. It's cool.
But anyways, so it's not for everyone, so I get it. I understand. But yeah, definitely the witch thing, that was kind of an interesting thing about the whole force conception thing here. So when we get to that. But anyways, so this episode is really, if you think about it, a whole fucking goddamn clusterfuck of a backstory. Okay, so they take a backstory which should be something that should be fun, interesting, and enjoyable, and they turn it into what they call this. So it basically has 3 parts, this whole episode. That's what I figured it out to be. 3 whole parts: beginning, middle, and end. Now, the beginning, we get introduced to, it's supposed to be 16 years earlier from where we are currently at in the universe. And we're on the planet. I think it was Benbroke or something like that. And we're introduced to a younger May and Osha living in their commune. Basically is what it was, or cult, I like to call it. Basically Ben broke that. Yeah. Basically we're introduced to them and kind of who they kind of are. So once again, like I said, this is kind of a filler episode if you think about it. And so what better filler episode would be to have, all these, interesting, fun things. So we're introduced to them. We're introduced to their mother. We're introduced to kind of the people that she's around. And, basically leads to the Jedi showing up at one point. So that's kind of the beginning of the episode. So my next question for you guys is, so let's go talk a little bit about the witches here, since Darth here, he has a really high opinion about it. We'll go to you first too, Darth. What are your guys' opinion on them kind of talking about them being these witches and that their powers are different than anybody else in the universe and making them secluded against everybody, type of deal? So what are your thoughts on the witches, kind of getting that overall appearance of what the witches are and kind of that introduction to the supposed witches that are?
Okay. My issue with the witches is the fact that we already have witches established in the universe, and it's the Night Sisters of Dathomir, and so to have a planet with other witches almost mirroring Dathomir, they didn't have a what am I saying? Like an original thought. It was just they pulled from other Star Wars stories and stole somebody else's work, and tried to put your name on it, and
Really? I know.
Stop! I'm on the. God, my friggin' wife is busting my balls here. But so all that stuff was already established, and it just there was nothing original. If it was warlocks, do warlocks, you know what I mean? And I that's my opinion on the witches. It's like it was just a waste. Nothing original, nothing new. Rehashing, stealing from somebody else's writing, and it's just a shit show. And don't get me started on the Immaculate Conception.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming, sir. It's coming.
It's coming.
Oh yeah, I got a lot to say about that too.
J Rent, your thoughts on the witches and the establishment of these other witches in the universe of Star Wars?
Um, I'm okay with the idea of witches and them having like just like another type of group to use the Force. I don't want to say they're just like Jedi's. I think they're Force users, just like Jedi's are. They just use it a different way. They have a different way of practicing it, which is okay. I like the idea. Like, like a Sith. A Sith is another Force user that has a different kind of do a different way, like an anti Jedi. And this is just kind of like a different element for it, which is I'm okay with that idea. Like I think it's neat. It kind of changes up a little bit, but like the way it's being brought or presented is, I guess, the real issue. With the the immaculate conception type of thing. Just the way they're doing it is probably wrong. But if you notice, like that one character with the horns in the head, she looks like Darth Maul, right? And Darth Maul actually is part of that coven, FYI, if I'm not mistaken. I'm assuming. I think so. I mean, even though this is like way before that I think that's like a tie-in to all that. Anyway, that's what I think.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Brad?
I don't have an issue with the idea of the witches. We get that from Dathomir. We get that from the I'm used to it from the Jedi Fallen Order game. So that's where I know them from. So I don't really have an issue for witches being portrayed in this. Did they go about it in a well-mannered way? Not really. I mean, the chant was ridiculous, and the Immaculate Conception, I can, it's I don't much care. I'm of the opinion, I've watched Star Wars since tiny teddy bears killed the well-trained Nazis in a war. So, I mean, Star Wars is ridiculous to begin with in many ways. So, is it well written? No. So they did not go about telling the story well. And that's the issue here.
Okay. Ramon?
Like I said, I do not have no problem at all with these witches. How Brad was saying that I was not aware that there's already witches in Star Wars, so I did not know that. So that's freaking awesome. And there were the last thing. I think it was you, Cyber, that mentioned that in Osaka they introduced the witches there as well.
Correct.
I think it was okay. So when I first saw that, also thought it was badass. Again, no problem there.
Andre's a pop culture guy moment. It's called Ahsoka, sir.
What did I say?
You referred to it as a Japanese beverage, I believe, like a sake or something.
I did not fucking say sake.
Sake,
but anyways, fucking yeah, no problem with it. I do have this little thing though, and I was thinking about this because how
is it your thread, sir? Your mail thread?
My what thread?
Your thread, sir.
No.
Okay.
What was it? Oh, we haven't exactly gone to this part yet, or have we? The part where the witches are well, the part where they explain that they kind of just like appeared. The twins came out of nowhere.
No, we haven't gone to the.
Okay, then again, I'm getting too ahead of myself there. I should probably wait on that one. And I'm wondering if any of you guys have thought this, because I thought about it. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. There's some connection between the cult and like basically the whole story where this motherfucker back here started. But I'll save it. But long story short, I don't have a problem with the witches. I think it kind of, like, again, I know a lot of you guys here are like not crazy about it, but I like the whole Jedi and witches thing because, again, that's just the fucking weirdo that I am, and I'm into all this kind of weird stuff. So it just intrigues me and it's interesting. And I don't know. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what they do with it. I just like that it's different, and I've always been like that. I've always liked stuff that just kind of like fucks around. It just kind of goes its own complete different direction. So I feel like I'm the total oddball here, and everybody's like staring me down like, you little fuck.
No, everybody likes the witches. No, nobody doesn't like the
All right.
Most of the people like the witches.
Darth doesn't like the witches, but
I don't like these witches.
Yeah.
Oh,
The Night
these
Sisters are badass.
I hate them bitches.
I think they're part of the same coven, aren't they? No,
No.
I'm
Different
starting
coven?
to kind of think that too.
I really don't like.
But
I really don't like that hammer fucking head bitch. The bitch with the fucking spikes coming out of her head or whatever. The horns. I don't like her at all.
Oh, Miss Mall.
Yeah, Miss Ball.
More like Pepto Bismol.
Your thoughts, Jeff?
Yeah.
knee slapper.
Your thoughts, Jeff, on the
Well,
on the witches?
the witches in general. Like not going into not just like the intro of the episode, but the witches in general. What can I say?
Yeah, and the intro.
And the intro. Well, the intro was fucking stupid. These child actors are right off the bat. The child actors get a Danny Award. Both of them do. They get double Dannies. The child actors do. They're fucking terrible. Okay, they're fucking retarded. Their scenes together are fucking retarded. Okay, just to be clear. So like that's what I think about that. Their whole dialogue, the writing that they gave them to work with in the intro and all that shit is fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. It's not entertaining. It takes you nowhere. And what's up with the witches? Like, okay, how are they able to consist their like as a population without men? All right, yet they're trying to grow They're trying to grow this all-female witch society. And as far as we know, the Immaculate Conception thing only happened the one time. How are they planning on growing their population or maintaining their flock? How are they maintaining their numbers without men? That's what I want to know for one thing. Like that I couldn't figure that out. There's no children at all. There's no children at all, right? Except for May and Osha. There's no children. Where are the children? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are they actually growing this and like trying to like, build something on this planet? Why are all the women the same age, except for that one old bitch that came out of the corner or whatever that to try to be all profound? Yeah, she woke up and said,
too many questions.
She tried to say some profound shit, but it was just stupid. So the witches suck. What do you want me to say? The fucking we'll talk about it in a minute, but the witch scene where they fucking sing or whatever and start talking about ones and twos and all that shit and whatnot is one of the most fucked up, retarded fucking things I've ever seen ever on TV. Most fucked up ever.
It was silly.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. Very good job.
So much hatred.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry about the hatred, sir. Oh, and I have a video that's that ties into that scene.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
I need a backstory on that one, man.
And that is how the witches mate with Satan. That's how
Folks,
they come about.
That's what the scene I was just talking about was like. It was like that, except there was a dude there. That wouldn't have happened in the culty.
I wouldn't say that, Ramon. Them mating with Satan. So the fact that because Satan is, in mythology a dude. So I wouldn't do that. I just be careful there because they might want to call her she, he, they, what. So just make sure.
Whatever.
Like why have they renounced men? Why have they renounced men? Like why? Like there's no background information. Are they all lesbians? Like are they all like? Do they all like scissor each other or whatever? With some one big scissor fest or whatever?
Who knows?
That sounds like a good name for the next episode. Scissor
Like
Fist.
what do they do to one of the witches if they like men?
Probably kill them.
They become Jedis.
They call her by she to piss her off. I don't know.
Yep. Something like that, most definitely. But yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, so going on to the next question, just briefly give me your thoughts on that intro leading up to before the seance, whatever you want to fucking call it, them starting to chant. Just what were your thoughts kind of at that beginning with Osha and May, and then kind of the introduction to some of the cult people? Starting with you, Brad.
Kind of forgetful in my mind. Honestly, 2 kids out in the woods, and then they get yelled at their first mom, second mom, whichever, that get back in the fucking house. So, and then Soul's over there creeping. So kind of a weird scene, all in all, in retrospect. But
he did look very pedophile-ish.
Yeah, it was like creepy. He's like, yeah. He just comes out from like the corner there as they're running away. and then further on is like, you want to hold my saber? It's like, I'm done. I'm out.
And he was breathing hard too. He was like,
yeah, he had run like up that hill real quick.
He looked excited.
But honestly, it's forgetful for me, so I don't even remember much of it.
All right, Darth.
I am so glad Brad went first and said the exact same thing that I was going to say, because I thought that, like I couldn't remember it. You know what I mean? I knew that they were frolicking and stuff like that, but I'm like, what was the dialogue? What was I mean? I remember there was the "We are one" and "We are two" or whatever thing back.
I am me. Or something.
Yeah. But it was just like, it's so forgettable that, like I can't even comment because I don't even remember. There was nothing that grabbed my attention or made me remember that scene.
All right, excellent. Proving our point once again how shitty this episode is. J-Red.
So, to clarify, like the idea of witches in Star Wars to me is a really cool new idea. I think the problem with the way things are turning out is the approach and how they're presenting it to us, the audience, the Star Wars fans. The story is just poorly written. The idea is there. It's like, sounds like a good idea. Like, hey, that's a good idea. And then from that idea to paper to video got messed up somewhere. I hate this little twins girl action that they're doing. I felt like that was a good idea too. Like, hey, let's make these Force users twins. One becomes good, one becomes bad, right? Sounds like a great idea. And then paper to video, it's like, what happened? It sounded like a great idea and it's not. But like the sister, like to just have this like weird attitude, like just like almost like a robot, to like be angry at whatever, and one to just be like so out of touch with like her upbringing. It's just so weird how, especially like for someone who has gone as far as to like where they get to that scene when they're doing the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. That's the chant, by the way. She's like, do you want to commit to this? And she's like, I do, right? This long ass horrible pause. Like, I just don't understand how like it even gets that far with such uncertainty in it. And then I was very confused because she mentions like the I know I have an idea. I was gonna say the black chick, but the witch, the main witch, and I forgot her name.
The boss bitch.
The boss. Well, just you say that. She was like
the head witch.
The head witch. There you go. The head witch. To me gave me the impression that she was the mother, right? Because the other one with the horns in her head, Miss Maul, disciplining him. And, she was making comments. So like when the head witch was like, it's my decision, I was like, okay, these are her kids, right? and the other one's like the girlfriend that's like the girlfriend of her that's just like there as a support figure. But then, they get to that point where she's like, I carried them, and then the head witch is like, I created them, and I was like, wait, what? I'm confused now. So who birthed them? I still don't even know. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on that beginning part.
All right. Jeff, did you have anything else you'd like to add to your intro talk there, sir?
Yeah, you know what? Basically, to add, just based off of the original question, I basically just that why don't either one of the twins have horns on their heads, right? If those two witch chicks or whatever like made them or whatever, why doesn't one of them have horns on their head or some shit? When you thought that at least one of them would have had that pass on, right?
Or at least some variation of that, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, that horn mom is like rough looking, bro. So you think that would have passed out a little bit. You know what I mean?
You bring a good point. You bring a good point.
Yeah. I mean, her on the attractiveness scale, like Jason's brick wall is kind of like, level is at the same level of like.
Her DNA sucks. That's why.
Obviously, the head witch's genes are way more, harder or more witchier, I guess.
I'm sure that
dominant was the word.
I'm sure Leslie Headley, or whatever her fucker name is, probably would like to hear this. But honestly, it's truthfully, it's very possible that horned Bob could be paper bagger in the bedroom material. She's definitely up there, like in that percentage of ladies where you might have to put a paper bag on that head. Right?
I don't think you would put a paper bag on her head, Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, she's also
like you. I don't think you would.
You can't. She'll rip right through it, Jeff.
She's got a bad attitude too. She's also got a bad attitude too. She's a
plastic bag.
Well, that's why you got to set her straight, Jeff.
That's right. You know what? That's right. You imagine if somebody came in the comment section, some environmentalists, and they were like. Putting a paper bag is global warming. You got to use a plastic bag.
Oh no,
it's recyclable.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeff. Going over to you, Booze and Chill. Your thoughts, sir, on that intro up to before they start doing the culty thing.
Cinematography wise, it was interesting because I like that weird looking wormy jellyfish looking fucking butterfly thing. I thought that was cool. The forest looks neat and whatever. The idea of the twins, and I'm talking like mythology wise, I think it was Celtic mythology. The whole idea of the whole twin thing is like there's supposed to be like a whole sharing bond deeper than siblings, I think it was. So it goes a lot more deeper than that, and I kind of get it because again, the witch cult and whatever. So that's the whole thing with the whole twins. That's why they came out as twins, and so I get that. Jeff brought up a good point about the whole why them not looking at least a little bit like Miss Small. That one's interesting, but then again, they're not exactly what's it called? There's no intercourse involved. It's all done with magic or some form of the force or the god or whatever. How Darth Leach was like saying. So it kind of sort of makes I kind of get where they're coming from as far as like the whole witchery thing, and not crazy about that chant. Just like Jane Red mentioned, it was not the most creative one. Like they could have added some gibberish to hide it, to make it at least a little bit creative. Like I'm talking like Chucky type of chanting. You know what I mean?
I personally thought they should have put Limp Bizkit's Rollin', and it would have been even better. Move in, no move out, hands up, no hands down. It would have been great.
Maybe.
Somebody
But yeah,
needs to make that
that's one
video.
thing. That's one thing I can agree. Like, the chant fucking was lame. Like the writer was just like, dude, we have the witches, we got the cult, we got everything. We just don't have a chant. What can we do? Chat GBT. And that came out. But the intro, again, I get it as far as the cult and witch wise, the symbolism between the twins and the cult. And it's just that chant. That was the only thing.
It was pretty bad.
God damn it, Jared.
And we haven't even gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we said leading up to it, right? I said leading up to it.
We haven't even gotten to the chant.
We're getting there, so don't worry, people. So anyways, before we move on, just to kind of, we talked a little bit about, a lot of everyone kept talking about the writing and how bad the writing is on this episode, and that's what making this episode so bad. So once again, let's just reiterate what they've told us about the writing team of the Acolyte. So first off, the people that wrote this have no fucking clue what Star Wars is. All they know is that it was a big brand and that it was popular and that Disney owned it. That's all they knew about Star Wars. They had never watched another Star Wars film. They had never read a Star Wars book or any of that. Played the games, nothing. Now, when they saw that Disney was giving these females this chance to make their own thing, basically, they decided to jump on that, and that's why we got the shitty writing we got, is because they have no thought process of what the lore is of Star Wars at all, and they wrote it. And even the few people that did have some Star Wars knowledge on this, like, threw it away and allowed them to write whatever they wanted. So that's kind of the reason why we're seeing such crappy writing throughout these first 3 episodes, is because you have no Star Wars knowledge. So why would you want to make a show about Star Wars if you don't know anything about it? It just seems to me like, once again, as a lot of people have mentioned, that I've seen in comments and stuff like that, is that this was all just like almost like a test to see what would happen if they put out something that somebody just put together randomly without knowing the lore. So, that's kind of what's going on here, from what a lot of people are seeing from perspective of the writing, unfortunately. And, it's too bad because this has a lot of potential. The name of the show has great potential, The Acolyte. That sounds really cool. It has a lot of great things that it could have been that could have reinvigorated the Star Wars population fans, and, with coming off of like shows like Ahsoka, Andor, Mandalorian, and stuff like that, which were, big hits. I mean, Ahsoka wasn't as big as I think a lot of the other ones were, but still at the same time, with such great writing that was a part of the first couple seasons of Mandalorian and in the Andor, you think that you would want to keep that success going. And yet they threw this together. So who knows what their thinking process was when it came to this with the writing, but definitely the writing is the biggest problem with this series so far. I mean, not to mention the bad acting, the bad casting, and all that kind of stuff, and just the direction that allowing, the people that created this and the producers and stuff like that just didn't know what the hell they're doing. Kathleen Kennedy has been around for 40 years. She's been producing films for over 40 years. She was a producer on huge films back in the late 80s, early 90s, big hits, Arachnophobia, stuff like that. I mean, so she is not like a, newbie that doesn't know what the hell she's doing. So but the fact that she's allowing what happened to this show just seems like to me that it's, what the hell is the point? Why did you even create this? Why put it even out when it's just a trash pile of what we are finding out with this episode? So it's too bad. It's just too bad. All right, so where we left off, basically, is we get to the chanting ceremony, the cult's process of immaculate conception, as they call it, and we get this shindig that has them, and basically, showing them how supposedly May and Osha were conceived, and kind of this ritual they said too, that of ascension they're calling it, which we talk about briefly. They mention it at the beginning before we get to this point. Osha doesn't want to be ascended, but May wants to be ascended, and that was kind of something that they, both were kind of, conflicting about as these twins. And so basically, we go through the ceremony and they ascend May, but they don't ascend Miss Osha. And that's when, Soul finally pops up with the other Jedi. We see, Andara. We see the Wookiee, which I don't recall his name, of that Wookiee Jedi. Anybody else? Did they mention his name? I don't recall them mentioning his name.
His name is,
Chewie 2.
Cal Neka.
Yeah, Cal Neka. And then, of course, the other Jedi that we've seen already slain in the previous episode, which looked, I don't know how many, it's supposed to be only 16 years between when this is happening and when the current time is, and yet that guy looked like he aged 40 years. So I don't get why they made him look as bad as he did. He looked fucking horrible. I mean, the whole eye patch thing and he looked horrible. Like the special effects makeup that they put on him did not look good. Like it's like almost like they put it on in the dark or something, and they're like, "Yeah, that looks good."
He's a white. He's a white cis male. Who gives a fuck? Who cares what he looks like?
And so, and so, like we were introduced to them, 16 years prior, supposedly here, and like they've come looking for younglings that they could train as Jedi. And basically they have this whole thing out that they foresee something in these twins, and that they should need to be allowed to take them to see and test them and see if they can be Jedi. And so they've been searching all around, and basically they have like kind of a back and forth conversation about allowing Osha and May to do the testing, and eventually basically the cult agrees to allow them to do that. Because Osha kept saying she wants to be a Jedi. She wants to be a Jedi. And so then we kind of get that like conception to them doing the testing. And we get more kind of, bickering between May and Osha, and kind of showing how they kind of, are separating from each other and becoming different than one another. And like showing that May is definitely more of the dark side, and Osha is more of the light side. And, basically, we have that kind of like conversation with Soul. Soul talks with Osha, and, you kind of get an idea of like Soul really feels like Osha needs to be trained as Jedi. Like he sees the Force in her and all that kind of stuff. Kind of what Mr. Ramon mentioned earlier about, about Darth Vader and how his miraculous conception in episode 1. I knew people were going to bring that up about Anakin because, he's miraculously, conceived. But from my understanding, I don't remember Anakin's mom being a former witch or a witch. They never mentioned that in the film or in anything else I've seen anyways.
I can enlighten you a little bit. So Anakin, now in the comics, they go back and they show how the Emperor, or Darth Sidious, came to Tatooine, and you see his arms, or it's actually like a projection of him, his arms around Shmi, holding her womb. So in canon, Darth Sidious created Anakin, which is kind of crazy, because what he created is what killed him. So big, lesson learned, whatever you want to call that. But yes, so that's why I had the issue with the Immaculate Conception thing. It's like it kind of cheapens the story of episode 1, or the Skywalker saga, just cheapens that.
Yep. So yeah,
like
I mean,
I'm sorry, like the Emperor was trying to learn how to do this for his entire life and wasn't able to accomplish it. But now these broads over here have been doing it for all this time.
yeah, most definitely. Yeah. So definitely, the whole conception of just what you explained there shows that it was the dark side that created Anakin by the power of Darth Sidious, which would be different than witchcraft, in my opinion. It wouldn't be the same exact thing. So these are two different things. So thankfully, because of how crappy this has been, I don't really think we're going to see going forward in other Star Wars projects kind of that thought process. I think we're going to leave Anakin's immaculate conception alone, especially with how things have gone with this series so far and how poorly it's being liked by the Star Wars fandom. But yeah, so basically, yeah, so we get that whole sequence, and basically that leads up kind of to the final portion of the episode. So we're gonna stop there, leading up to when they go and do the testing for becoming Jedi. So next question for you guys. So here we go, people. Let's talk about the song, the singing, the chanting. Everyone,
Cyber, I've got it. I can play it.
Yes, I know you can. Give me a second, sir. All right, so we have that going on. So we're going to refresh your memory, folks, of what that is, and then we're going to go around the panel, and I want to get everyone's thoughts on that chant, please. So play away, Jeff.
Tonight we enact a ceremony we have not performed since our exile. We were hunted, persecuted, forced into hiding, all because some would consider our power dark. We were on the brink of extinction. We were blessed with a miracle, the gift of life.
Come, claim your destiny.
What the thread has tied together, no one can separate. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Mayho Anastasia, do you vow upon my death to protect the secrets of our coven and continue our legacy?
I do.
Ascend. Marosha Anastasia, do you vow upon my death to protect the secrets of our coven and continue our legacy?
2.
Mama! The Jedi!
They've sliced the platform. They will be here any moment.
All right. Going around the panel, what is everyone's thoughts on that wonderful scene, folks? Starting with you, Booze and Chill.
Where to start? Like J-Red mentioned, the chant. It's could have done it. They could have done it, but they didn't. They let ChatGPT take the wheel. But again, as far as how the witchery goes, I get it. It's like the whole passing of the magic or the power or whatever. It's just how they went about it. It looked really lame. There could have been a little bit more choreography, maybe a little. I don't know. They could have done something. And what else? But again, I get it. The whole witch cult thing. It's like a legit cult, witchery thing. It's like not like one of those cults where they make you wear a white robe and there's like Kool-Aid punch around. Not that type of cult. Like the actual type of cult where there's actual, demonic stuff happening or whatever, or the force in this case. And another thing, there's always that one child that always refuses to do what you tell them to do. That part is kind of funny. How one of them just wants to be the total complete opposite. It's like one wants to follow the footsteps and worship Satan like a good witch, but the other kid wants to, become technically what is the priest that carries around swords made of light. But that's really all I got to say. Like, just the chanting that I have a problem with and how they went about it. But again, I get it. I get it. Just could have been done a lot more better.
Jeff?
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, I wish. Pardon me. I wish I would have had the full video with all of the chanting and the, all that, the full deal. Basically, it's really, really shitty. It's a really shitty scene, bro. It's really boring. Like, this show just keeps on trying to gain gain suspense and like build up suspense and and try to put together what should be you think would be solid, well put together, cohesive storytelling and whatnot, and it's just not working. It's falling flat. These two young actresses are not very good in these roles. They're not a good focal point in the episode. They're not. And like the whole the witches making animal noises.
But Jeff, some say that when witches sync their orgasms, they can actually bring life.
Well, I mean, what is this? Is the Echo series now in the fucking Star Wars universe? Like, I mean, what's next? Like, I mean, is this Cherokee Nation shit going on here? The one chick was literally in the background going, or whatever, what the fuck does that have to do with Star Wars, bro?
I do not judge nobody's orgasms, Jeff.
But that sounded like some kind of noise that would come out from the jungle. There's no fucking jungle over there. You know what I'm saying? Yay! Yay! Where the fuck did that come from? I'm thinking to myself, what does that have to do with this? But anyways, so yeah, like the whole they were looking, they reminded me of in the Matrix, too, when they're in that cave rave scene and the people are like dancing and they start having sex and shit, and they're like, they look all fucking out there and everything and whatnot, like they're tweaking out or whatever. This kind of reminded me of that. Some of the witches were moving around all sexual and shit. Making weird faces and shit and everything, breathing weird and shit. It was deep, baby. Very deep shit.
What the fuck, man? No.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Great job, sir.
On that awkward moment.
Darth, your thoughts, sir?
You know what? I got two things: terribly written, very cringy.
Cringy.
I gotta say, very cringy. Yeah. Hey, listen, I gotta get going, but I wanted to throw a couple things out. The time difference. It's a 16-year gap between what we're seeing in episode 3 and what's in present day. The girls look to be about 10 to 12 years old in the flashbacks. So that would make them close to 30 years old. They'd be 28 years old at the time when the present day stuff is happening. But those girls look like they're 17. Like the aging did not work at all. Also, all the money, I know Jeff has got the numbers, man, but all the money they pumped into this series, I don't see where that money is gone. It's not on big name actors. Yes, there are a couple, but the CGI is terrible. Like speaking of cringy, that CGI is cringy. I expected a lot more based on all the hype behind how much money they were pumping into this thing.
The future projects.
Yeah, and the other thing, I really wanted this series to get me into the Old Republic, because I haven't picked up one of their books or anything, because I don't like starting to read and I have to learn from the ground up, like who these people are and stuff like that. I like reading things that I know the established characters. So I was hoping that I was going to love this series so much that I would want to go back and read all the comics and all the books, because now I have like a basis to it, and I just there is no way that I'm going to finish the Acolyte. Okay, just for the sake of this show, and in hopes that something decent will happen. But I don't want anything to do with it after that. And I know they're not going to have a second series. This is just terrible. So on that, good night, guys.
Good night, Jay.
Thank you for being on, and have a great night, sir.
See you in 2 weeks.
All right, brother.
I'll be at a Sarah McLachlan concert next week.
Good for you, brother. I love me some Sarah McLachlan.
All right.
Nice.
See you guys.
Peace. All right. Brad, same question, sir.
What even did we just watch? That I don't even know. Also, to call this the Ascension, that is such a fucking awesome name to call anything. And for the Ascension to be wave your hands around, put a tattoo on the forehead, and then stand up, it's like, no, I know how to fix this. You're calling it the Ascension. It looks like there's a pit behind you. Throw the kids in there and let them climb up. That's the Ascension. And I think you get like a lot more suspense in that. So that's how I fix this. But yeah, this whole scene, it might be up there with one of the worst things ever created in Star Wars.
Excellent. Thank you. J Rant, same question, sir.
I didn't like the ceremony. It was weird. It was odd. Just in the sense like that it was so soft. And I like the little like planet thing they did, like when they had the force kind of like cause that like weird eclipse looking type thing. I don't even know what that was. The effects were kind of cool there. Just the uncertainty of the girls like wanting to do that. The story is just weird, like that they have Jedis getting involved in this, like they don't want that to happen, and that they're even there. Like I don't get why they are like imposing their kind of like their belief system. It's just kind of weird to think of like a Jedi like imposing their will or their beliefs on these people, like, oh, you can't have children and stuff like that. It just, that part was like really non-memorable for me. Well, I take that back. I'm lying. It was very memorable, but in a negative way.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
Yep.
because in the first 2 episodes, and this is when the Jedi are at their peak. That's what this is. 100 years, before the Empire comes in and kicks their ass, and then they go into hiding. So the Jedi are at their peak here. In the first 2 episodes, you can see the Jedi kind of use their powers to be somewhat assholes. I mean, they walk into a guy's ship and then use their force powers to make them, almost say what they wanted to say until the wife, I think, steps in and tells them the information. So honestly, the Jedi are at the peak here. They're kind of the biggest assholes of the galaxy at this time. And so it's not surprising they would come in and be like, oh, look, these kids with powers. Yeah, we want them.
Yeah, just don't like that idea.
No. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good storyline, and I agree with Ramon. I think most of this goddamn thing was written by AI, so I'm out.
All right, excellent, guys. All right, so going around again. So leading up to before the twins go and do the Jedi test, what were you guys' thoughts? Besides the chanting, what did you think about the rest of that section of the episode? Starting with you, Mr. Brad.
I thought it was kind of weird. I mean, they're basically, they walk in there and they go straight to, we heard you had children. And it's like, where are the children? And then the Wookiee spots the child, and then it's kind of it. And Soul comes over and he's like, hey, you want a weapon? Come with us, we'll give you weapons. And it's like, what kid would deny that? It's like, yeah, sure. So again, this episode's weird from the very beginning. It's weird. It's not very memorable, and it's poorly written. And that's what I really got in between. When the Jedi walk in. Also, I don't know how that man's in 16 years, like you said, Cyber. That man's forehead grew 5 sizes. So I'm not sure what happened there.
Exactly. All right. Jeff, your thoughts, sir, on the rest of that section of the episode.
So if I was this dude's soul, if I was the actor, I'd be pissed off. That motherfucker learned English in 4 weeks for this fucking TV series. You know what I'm saying?
He's a good part of it.
He was working with two lingual coaches, whatnot, to learn English just for this show, right? And then you imagine fucking watching this shit if you're him and being like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like I learned an entire language for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean it's got to be rough for him, dude.
Yeah, this dialogue.
No, and then I like how that of course it's Master Torben again that gets his ass kicked. The one white guy gets all black eyed and shit, whatnot, knocked out. Right? He's like a little bitch, so that boss bitch could be all tough in that scene. Big black boss bitch could be tough. That's all I got, sir.
All right. Ramon, your thoughts, sir?
I'm just getting a lot of horror vibes out of it, and I'm talking possession horror movie vibes, because you got the witches doing their chanting and whatnot, and then I've been mentioning earlier, the Jedi, the priest coming in to save and stop this witchery. Literally all that was missing is for one of those fucking Jedi's lightsabers to be an actual cross. Yeah, that was the only thing that was missing out of this. And yeah, it's weird. And then you fucking Jeff, you brought up what's his name? Soul. You brought Soul up, and I'm just like, oh man. Now I'm just thinking that part where he goes up to what was not May? What's the other girl's name again? Osha. When he goes up to Osha and he holds the lightsaber, all I can think of him saying is would you like to be part of? I can't even finish the sentence. Would you like to be part of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Jedi? And I'm just like, okay, all right.
Could you imagine if one of the male Jedis would have pulled their lightsaber out on like the Force switches or whatever,
Like the
and
actual lightsaber.
the boss bitch made the lightsaber like droop down like a penis flopping down, like losing its direction or whatever. Like we don't have that doesn't work here.
Yeah, man, that's kind of all it was missing. It's just like horror movie possession vibes, except with Disney, so it's like PG'd. It's like the movie Witch, but done by Disney, but with Star Wars. That's kind of all I'm getting. And yeah, god damn it, Jeff. Now I could just think of Soul now. But that's all I gotta say. Just Disney-fied horror possession Star Wars is what's happening in this chunk of the episode.
All right.
Fuck you, Jeff.
J-Red.
What did I do?
I can't stop thinking about that now.
What was the exact question on this one?
So besides the Immaculate Conception sequence where the ascension happens,
okay,
what did you think about the rest of that portion leading up to when they go to do the Jedi test?
I don't have a strong opinion about overall, other than kind of where I've kind of said from it, because I mean, I don't consider, I didn't really think of it as a filler episode. I consider it a very important episode because it's giving you the backstory of the girls. I just don't, up to that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting for something good to happen. That's about it. So I'm ready to move on from after that.
The anticipation.
30 minutes into the episode, I'm waiting for something
so once again, J-Red contributed so beautifully there. Thank you, sir. All right, so continue with the shit show scenario here of episode 3 of the Shitolite. Basically, from there we go. That's when we do the Jedi training to see if they can be trained in the Force, see if they can become Padawans. And Osha is very down to do this. She is very down. She keeps saying it. She kind of has a moment with the Wookiee guy, and May is all kind of against it. She's like, "This is against our family. This is blah blah blah. You gotta lie and all this kind of stuff," telling to Osha. And Osha, kind of just agrees, like, "Okay, I'll lie. And you're kind of like, that's a lie. So yeah, you are lying. So good job. You win. And so basically they go do it, and May fails, but Osha doesn't. And when she comes out and sees that Osha didn't fail, May gets all super mad and upset, and basically kind of stops away like a little prepubescent bitch. And so basically we see the Wookiee guy again, and he kind of like pans over to him, and he's kind of like, and just like,
just working on his Harley.
Like, you're just working on his motorcycle thing, and you're just kind of like, huh? Like, what is he saying? Like, and you can kind of see that Osha kind of, sees him saying that, and it's like, he believes in me, kind of deal. Like, I don't feel as bad. And so basically then that's when we go back, and, Osha explains that, she passed and that she wants to become a Jedi to the mother. And, she's like, well, I got to run it past all the other sisters, but it's your choice, and blah, blah, blah. And, like that. But, May is still upset about it, and like, saying, things and not agreeing with Osha going to become a Jedi. And so eventually, she basically ends up, as Osha's getting ready to pack to go to the ship to start her training. She comes in and says, "I'm going to stop you or whatever I got to do with it, even if that means I have to kill you." And Osha's like, he's basically was like, "What the hell?" and basically May ends up locking Osha in the room, and ends up taking this like lamp thing that's right by the door and throwing it on the ground and causing a fire to start. And so then basically, Osha has to escape from the room as the fire is starting to set a whole blaze to the whole building, which made no sense to me because the whole building is metal. And I don't think metal catches fire that quickly unless you put gas on it.
Stone. There was stone too.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay, I don't see it starting that fastly, but anyways, and so basically Osha is able to open up this trapdoor and scoots through and gets through, and as she makes her way through, we start seeing basically the building starting to fall down from the fire, and that the fire is everywhere. She sees May from across the way. They kind of meet up at these two at this catwalk basically. And Soul pops up at one point there, and they end up, the staircase starts to break and everything, and Soul's able to catch Osha, but May supposedly falls into the ground, into the abyss there after the catwalk breaks. And so, Soul grabs her and is like, I got you, and ends up pulling her out, and it basically goes dark, and then she wakes up on the starship, and Soul's there, and he takes off the Oscar mask and is like, you're gonna be okay, Osha, you're fine. And she's like, what happened? And she's like, mother, and all this kind of stuff, and basically reiterating that your mother's dead, and May is dead, and all this kind of stuff. He's like, you're gonna be fine, we're gonna take you to Coruscant, and you're gonna live a great life, and you become a Jedi, and all this kind of stuff. And she's still kind of like all sad and kind of pouty eyes, and then basically after they're making their way, it goes dark again, and then pops back up, and then it shows May, and she's in the forest again somehow, and the episode ends. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the conclusion of the episode? What did you think about the Jedi testing? What did you think about May going completely dark side? And just kind of your thoughts on that conclusion of the episode. I'll start with you, Brad.
So the whole testing scene, before that, when May's like, just lie, idiot, like, duh. And I mean, Osha's just all beyond herself, because she knows what she wants. She doesn't want to stay here with these witches and just scissor it out, I guess, when she gets older. But that's and then, like you brought up the Wookiee goes kind of random. I mean, I didn't mind it. I'm like, hey, Wookiee, that's cool. And a speeder bike. But but May getting to the point so angry that you're willing to burn alive your own sister is a bit much, in my opinion, for anyone. Like, you can get mad and like stomp off and lock yourself in your room, but I don't think most people would be like, yeah, I'm going to burn you alive. How about that? And the only thing I could figure out with the fire spreading as fast as it was is maybe there were machines in that went around the whole place and just caught fire and blew up. I don't know. They don't really explain it like most of this fucking show so far. But also, there is something being hidden in this, because not all those witches died from the explosion or from the falling ceiling. Like, those Jedi went to town when the girls were away. Like, there was slicing and dicing. I can't see that explosion just killing them all just like that, and they're all just lying there dead. So to me, there's a lot of missing info. I think Soul's hiding secrets as well as all the other, and I think that's might be in future episodes, but that's just me thinking there's a cohesive story in this shit pile. So that's where I'm at with it. I don't know what else everybody else thinks on that.
All right, thank you, J-Rant. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, it was a just like Brad said, it was confusing as to what happened, because the sister being upset and wanting to kill her own sister in that instance because of her not lying about what she could see. And I was under the impression that she really wasn't a good Force user because of the previous episodes where she's like trying to, use the Force. I was under the impression she just didn't want to be there because she sucked at the Force, right? But she's over here using her mind and she can see the pictures lying about it. So that threw me off there. I was like, oh, okay, so I guess she is good with the Force. I don't know. The scene where all of that stuff is on fire, I'm like, what happened? It's like, was that the sister that caused all that? Because she was so mad, even though she just took this oath to protect the coven. Who she was like so desperate to like if you're following it, right, and you want to you like the story, and she's like, do you swear to protect and take over and protect the coven after I'm gone? And she's like, yes, and then she goes here and one day just to go tear it down. So I don't really know that it is her. I don't know that the Jedi's tore it down because the other guy was so bold enough in the other episode to just say, she's like, what you did? And he's like, yeah, we thought we were doing the right thing, and then he kills himself, by drinking that potion. So I'm just so confused, and I'm not in a good way because I don't know what's going on. I don't like the suspense is done wrong. Yeah,
in 3 episodes you don't know what's happening.
Well, the suspense is I guess the tying into everything is
there is no suspense.
It's just it's confusing to what's going on, and I don't know that I don't know that this is the right way to confuse your audience in the story. I get the plot twists and stuff, but it's not doing it right. And again, the whole Jedi being there is just weird. I don't know what happened, and I haven't seen the episode 4, which came out. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the whole thing because I want to see how it plays out. And but no, it's bad. That part is just bad.
Make sure you use your pronouns on episode 4.
I heard a really good one if you want to use pronouns. So I saw this one show. He's identify as she, the, and it. And then the person was like, what? And he's like, shit. The or it was the, she, and it. The shit. I thought that was funny. But anyway, yeah, that's my take on it.
We actually identify on our Instagram page, we identify as Zer and Z.
I don't know what that means.
I have that.
Yeah, you as well.
And we identify as that.
Whatever you say, Jeff.
you gotta throw in a little bit more context because they just fucking went right over me, bro.
Way to pull a Star Wars and confuse your audience.
I know, I'm fucking raving up tonight, man.
Hey, we're even now because I fuck you up with my name apparently.
I know. I was about to say I'm paying you back for your bullshit with you spelling your fucking name differently every other day.
I gotta ask
two
Jeff.
Names, Jeff. 2 names.
Jeff, how many have you smoked so far? I gotta know.
I'm halfway through my second.
Okay. We'll get to
all
the
right.
fourth, probably.
All right, sir. Jeff, your thoughts on the conclusion, sir?
I hope we're not. I'm not going to make it all the way through 4. What are you kidding me? Fuck, man. We can't. There's no way we can turn this shit pilot to fucking 2 hours. What are you joking? No, I don't think so.
No, you're high.
So my thoughts are okay. How did all those people die? How did all the witches die? Right? They weren't all burned up. They didn't get set on fire. They didn't die from smoke inhalation because there was no crazy fire with smoke or whatever, right?
Oh, and Soul was still there.
How did they all die? And they didn't look all cut up and shit and whatnot, right? Or anything like that. They were just laying there dead. I think what happened is that the actors actually saw that scene they did with all the fucking all that shit and whatnot, right? And they committed suicide, just like the actor from Master Tormund did after episode 2. He actually committed real life suicide and drank real poison in that scene and died because he was so depressed because he was in the Acolyte. I think those actors just died. They actually committed suicide right there, on the show, and they're just they're holding it in. I mean, this one, the director, creator or whatever, whatnot, used to work for Weinstein, baby. So you never know what could be going on over there behind the scenes. But the whole like May becoming a rage monster shit makes no fucking sense. That shit was stupid. The whole like how does stone catch on fire or whatever? Like how does stone and metal like burn or whatever and whatnot? And like, you know, and also like it was some generator outside that caught fire and blew up that really caused the fire or whatever. Like these witch lesbians live like out in the boonies without like any real like links to any like trade routes or any connections to like, you know, technology or like that, whatnot. Like they're living a pretty like barren, like they don't have money or whatever, or like they don't have tech. So where'd this generator come from, or this whatever the fuck they had going on out there? Where'd that appear from? Where'd they get that? Where'd they find the parts for that? I didn't understand that. This shit makes no sense. There's no fluidity to it at all. There's no cohesion. There's no explanation for anything. Like there's just events. It's like there's events that occur, but there's no explanation for a lot of it. There's no actual background depth to like explain what the fuck is actually going on. But yeah, I feel like I have a good idea where this is going. I got to watch episode 4, of course, but this looks like it's going into a pretty pathetic direction. Like this is just going to be a really pathetic show. That's how it's looking right now. I'm not seeing it turning around at all. It's going to like have a really weak ending. It's like, you know, like whatever surprises that they're going to drop on us, they're not going to be very surprising, right? And you know, like the only thing I can say is they did a good job using practical effects to de-age you know, the Jedi characters, and make Soul and you know and whatnot. I thought they did a good job with Soul, at least. Not so much with Trinity. Trinity looked the same age as she did in fucking episode 1.
Yeah.
You know, she did like
because there was no de-aging. That's just what they look like now.
Yeah, they just wanted to show that was Trinity. They actually paid for her to be in the show.
That's right. That's why they just left her at her same
where
age.
all the money went.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. She set a record. She made for making the most money ever. Right, the biggest like payment for a TV series in less than 5 minutes of actual screen time. That's what part of the budget was probably $20 million just for her, just to do her Matrix fucking you know Fujitsu shit or whatever. In episode 1, and died by a kunai that like you know barely even broke her skin. You know what I'm saying? When like we just watched fucking whatever Raven called it Asaki or whatever the fuck, and during Asaki like what's her name?
Different shit.
What's her name from fucking Rebels? Took a lightsaber right through her fucking midsection, right through her and shit, and whatnot, and survived that shit, right? But this Master Jedi chick dies from one little kunai from like Naruto Shippuden that they throw.
They had to get her off the show real quick.
Cooties?
How'd she die? How did she die from that shit? And she died quick too. Like, I mean, that shit made no sense. But no, I mean, I guess you could say that like, you know, it was kind of okay. Like it was tolerable. Like when they take Osha with them. And like you have this relationship that she has with Soul, it's kind of cute, whatnot. But then at the same time, though, like for all we know, Soul might have been like jacking off back there in the beginning of the episode, behind those trees or whatever, watching the girls. You know what I'm saying? He was all breathing hard and shit, whatnot, and everything, and you know. So you know, he could have been force jerking.
The breathing hard is part of the ceremony, so.
Breathing hard is part of the ceremony.
Pretty much.
They weren't all fat women. Come on now.
Is there fat women in Star Wars?
Yeah. Fucking. There was a fat chick in Andor, or in Mandalorian season 3. There was with the Queen or whatever on that one planet was fat.
Oh, Lizzo.
Yeah, fuck Lizzo.
For real.
I thought you were talking about like the Jabba the Hutt cousins right there.
No, Jabba was skinny, motherfucker.
That was Lizzo's double.
Jabba was on a diet.
You should start like a petition and like make it go viral that Disney has something against fat women. That way they can put Disney in the hole even more.
Not enough plus
Fucking
size.
put Lizzo in the hole even more than she already is.
Representation in Star Wars. Not enough. It's not
Disney
good enough.
is anti fat women.
If you're gonna give me fat,
like
if you're gonna give me fat Star Wars chicks, at least make sure they have big boobs. You know what I'm saying? Like big boobs too, along with being fat, because at least they're big boobs, right? There's nothing worse than like a fat chick that also has small boobs. You know what I mean? It's a bad combination, bro. It's just like
wait. Jeff's got a point.
You don't got any visuals you can show us on that one, Jeff?
And he's out of any images.
Back to the topic here, folks.
Oh, we got to talk about the show now. God damn it!
Yeah, you got to talk about the show. That's what this is. It's not a review about fat, small-titted women. Okay, so.
Because I feel like there's a lot more we could talk about there.
Yeah, we could go into more depth there.
Oh, you guys.
That's all I got, sir. I'll do my rating. I don't really have much else to say other than the fact that the Soul's holding it down at this point. He's the only thread they got left that's keeping the series alive, or else it would just collapse. It would just collapse, bro. This is like Willow type level shit. They might have to delete this after it's over. They might have to remove. They might have to remove the culty off the platform.
Straight to Hulu.
Yeah. Put it on Pluto.
There you go.
There you go, J-Rat.
All right, Booze and Chill.
Tubi, motherfucker. Tubi. I got.
Okay, Booze and Chill. Your thoughts on the conclusion of the episode?
I think it was Brad that mentioned how it was kind of funny how May was like, lie, damn it, because Force Satan says we shouldn't join the priest Jedis, the holy Jedis, situation. So she lies to her straight to her face, telling her that yeah, fuck you, I'll lie, yeah, I'll do it. Doesn't lie, and I think it was also you, Brad, that made a good point that she was not good with the Force. But
no.
But she can do the mind read, apparently. That she's good at.
Yeah.
That she demonstrated well. And also the test to become a Jedi, is it that simple to draft little kids into the Jedis? Is it? Because I mean, I don't think I've ever seen any other Star Wars movie where like they're actually no, that's a dirty lie. I've seen the whole training thing, but how they get them in is just like trying to get them to see if they can guess the picture. Because I know there's more involved. Because that's really all they did.
It's like a magic trick. Like when you have to pick the card, it's like
guess the card. You guess the card, you get and you're in. That's the situation. Like I thought that was a little bit lame. Like I thought there was gonna be a little bit more, and I thought it was gonna like continue on to like another episode. But it was just like, nope, you guessed it. Whatever.
But they need more child soldiers, so they're not gonna make it difficult.
That's true. That's true.
You know what? You brought up a good point. Because these kids are old, and in Star Wars, remember they had an issue with Anakin.
Yeah.
That's true.
So like it's like they don't even are following the Star Wars lore in that one because Anakin was too old to join.
These are supposed to be the High Republic era Jedi.
Yeah, 100 years before.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be at a different level, like real, like hardcore Jedi.
Yeah, but like okay, I'm assuming this rule though of like joining the Jedi Order is like something that's been going on for a long time. Or did that just change up until we got to the new episode?
They already
Either
said
way, it doesn't.
They already said that it was a risk because with her training because of her age earlier in the beginning of the series. They already mentioned that.
It's that and how Brad was saying that they were just desperate. So those two came into play. I mean, I think the fact that they were desperate and the fact that she was trained in a certain way, in the witch way. So they're like, cutting corners with her because she kind of already has some ability, not full potential, but she has something. And
how did they even get the information that this coven of witches had kids? Like no one else knew. So who spilled the beans?
Yeah,
that's another one. And
It was the power of that Force scissoring, dude. It was so powerful. You know what I'm saying? During the Immaculate Conception, that it set off like Force alarms in the Force universe.
Yeah, it's just dumb. The story's
like,
dumb.
Just a shockwave of Force scissoring.
It was epic scissoring, bro.
Jeff, it was like there's an orgy in the Force.
Yeah.
No, but
whenever they come together and congregate and do all that heavy breathing and shit, remember when that during that one ceremony, it caused the ripple in the Force that makes it detectable and vulnerable.
That's what I'm saying. Like all Jedi's got horny for like a few minutes, and they were like, "Okay, something's up."
We pinpointed it
Exactly. And the whole stone thing. Again, this is just the whole witch thing. It could be because like there was a spell shielding, and because May was so upset, she kind of like interfered with that, and it fucking everything was able to catch fire. That or because again they practiced their own version of the Force, so it was also that came into play, that she was able to light fucking stone and fucking metal on fire, and the fact that all the dead witches, I already kind of connected the dots because in the first couple episodes, Soul and all the Jedis were like already fucking completely ashamed. Like they were talking like they were so much shame and they had so much doubt and all this. So I connected the dots. Like I know they did it. Like how you said, they were slicing and dicing. They slice and dice, and they have like this huge like thing about it. Then they're just like they can't get rid of it. Hence why they're trying. Why Soul is trying so hard to correct everything, because being the Jedi, you have this kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not hate, but what the fuck is that word I'm looking for? Regret, because having regret apparently gets you into the dark side. So he's trying to fix that because it's part of the whole Jedi thing. And so yeah, I already connected those dots. Like they did that, and they're not gonna fully go into that till like I don't know when. And what else? I think that's really all I got. The witches got killed by the Jedi. They just haven't explained it yet. And I know they fucking did it because, again, they implied it so many fucking times, especially with that one Jedi that didn't talk at all, that was just levitating the entire time. He pretty much nailed it. Like he's
the white guy, so he probably killed most of them.
You are correct. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, they implied that so damn much. They just haven't, gone into full detail. And that's all I got.
And after Ramon's statement, I know not to overthink this show because there's no thinking involved with this show. But what if the Jedi cause those flames to grow larger to hide what they've done?
That could be another one. That's a good one too.
Because honestly, May kind of threw the fire down, and then it kind of just went off.
Yeah, true.
And then let's get even crazier. Let's say, what if in that planet, stones can catch fire?
I mean, anything's possible in Star Wars, I guess. So
yeah, there's an answer for everything. We got an answer for everything.
Hey, we already had a campfire in space.
Marshmallows.
Stones are flammable on that planet.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, great job, guys. Very well done. Way off topic on some of those things, but great job. Anyways, my final thoughts on the episode is it was just utter trash. Utter trash. It was fucking stupid. It was fucking stupid and fucking stupid. That's all I got to say about it. Once again, Soul was great. He was fantastic. Just like everyone said, Carrie-Anne Moss getting maybe literally like 5 minutes of screen time altogether so far has been hilarious. And, especially probably because she was probably the top priced actor of all the people that were on the show too as well. So I think it's hilarious that $20 million for that 5 minutes so far is totally worth it, especially just to say, oh, We added the Matrix to Star Wars. Woo!
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, crappy ending, and just a waste of an episode. Really horrible episode. So let's go around and get your guys' ratings on what you would give this episode, and then we'll do plugs and get out of here. Starting with you, Joey, what would you give it?
A 3.
Okay.
A 3. I give it a 3 because it has some type of idea that that is okay. Again, they said this idea like, hey, this would be cool, and then they applied it and it didn't happen. But yeah, a solid 3.
Okay. Brad?
I'm looking at probably a 4.5. I think the acting was better than the first 2 episodes, which isn't saying much, but I guess it progressed slightly.
Okay.
Not really, but kind of.
Okay.
I like to have hope.
Ramon?
I give this a 6. No, I'm gonna give it I'll give it a 5. Fuck it. Brad's right. The acting is a little sloppy. But like Trent said, they're going somewhere with this, and I know they are. It's how they're gonna go about it. It's just how that's gonna determine how good this show is gonna end up going. As long as they keep the witches, I'm good. But just makes sense.
Ramon, your optimism for this show really is beautiful, and I'm very, very happy for you, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, sir. Anyways,
I said if.
Big if.
I did hear the next episode was a little bit better. I haven't watched it yet. I just heard it was a little bit better.
The crickets are way louder, dude.
We'll leave it to your opinion. Everyone's opinion on that, so I'm not spoiling that.
All right, Jeff, you're the rating, sir.
A 1.75.
Excellent. I give it a 0.
Very specific.
Just a straight 0.
Straight 0.
Circle foul.
Straight 0.
Oh, you had to beat me. You had to beat me, didn't you, Cyber?
No, I didn't have to.
Because we can't
beat you.
give negatives.
I just got to give it a straight 0. I mean, even Soul's performance in it, even though that was the best part about the episode, everyone kept mentioning kind of his pedo vibe, so I have to give it a 0, unfortunately. so I have to give it a 0, unfortunately, because I don't want to be like associated with that. No. Anyways, but yeah, 0. Just because there was no entertaining value, in my opinion, in this episode at all. Because usually I'll give an episode a 10, a 9, a 10, or 9, a 10. And a lot of people will give it that because they have all these little nitpicks and stuff like that, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But at the same time, like, if it entertains me, I'll give it a 10. This didn't even entertain me in the least bit. So that's why I have to give it a 0 too. So 0 for me. All right, guys. Great job. You guys did great with this Acolyte Shit Show project. Great job, guys. I'm going to turn it over to you, Jeff, to take us out.
Okay. Well, all right. Good show, everybody. Nice of everybody to show up and come on and whatnot. We really appreciate everybody coming on and rocking out episode 3. We'll start off with our plugs. J-Ron, what do you want me to pull up for your plug, sir? Do you want me to pull you up on Facebook?
Yeah, that's fine. Facebook is perfect.
All right, I'll go to you first, Brad. I've got your YouTube pulled up right here, and the floor is yours, sir.
All right. Thank you again for having me, guys. You can follow us at thenerdcores.com. It's our YouTube, The Nerdcore, where we basically go over all kinds of movies, shows, television. I mean, we upload almost daily, I think every other day. And we've been doing this for 8 years. So we're over, I think, 1,100 episodes in our podcasting and with our videos. So.
Well, congratulations, sir. That's a lot of a long fucking time to be going after it and whatnot, and maintaining your shit. We appreciate you coming on.
Videos.
Don't think. Yeah, it is a lot. It's more than we have, and don't think that just because I screwed up earlier with some titles or whatever on X Twitter that I don't genuinely appreciate you coming on when you do, because I do.
Oh, you're okay, Jeff. So we found it kind of funny.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you know what? Cyber will tell you slip ups like that. Cyber, I'll tell you what we're talking about later. But slip ups like that are part of the course when it comes to, like, with me. Ramon from Booze and Chills says, I can't roll my tongue like you motherfucker.
There you go. See, Cyber gets down and dirty.
That's okay. I can out eat pussy both you motherfuckers any given day.
When you can do that, you don't brag about it, sir.
But yeah, that is my YouTube channel. Yes. Yeah, you can check me, find me on YouTube, fucking X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I do lives every Thursday. I do drink reviews and I talk about whatever subject that I decide on talking about. Tomorrow I do live. It's gonna be all 90s themed. I'm gonna have a 90s trivia game for anybody that's gonna be involved. You can
what are you doing it? What are you doing, Raymond? I'll come on. You need any guests or what? You need participants?
It's up to you, Ben. It's up to you.
If you're doing 90s trivia, I've been on a 90s trivia show before. It was I had a blast. Remember, Cyber? I had a really good time on a 90s trivia podcast show one time. Yeah, man. Well, yeah. I'll talk to you after the end of the show, but continue. I apologize.
No, it's cool. But yeah, it's only gonna be like 10 questions because it's gonna be my review that I do in the beginning, and then we're just gonna talk about our favorite stuff from the 90s, from foods to music to movie and stuff like that. And then we're gonna end it with the 90s trivia game. And if you want to see more of the channel or of myself, you can go on to Patreon/Booze and Chills for more exclusive stuff, behind the scenes making of and stuff that you're not gonna get on YouTube or any of my other socials. And that's pretty much it. That's my pitch. That's my pitch.
You heard the bad. Cybernetic Shark, sir. The floor is now yours.
Well, as always, if you enjoy me as the moderator or on the panel on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, you can definitely check out my solo content. You can go over to find me under Cybernetic Shark. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Patreon. You can find me in all those places, so definitely go check that out. As you see my most recent couple of videos there, the Garfield movie and the Venom Last Dance trailer reaction. If you haven't watched those, definitely check them out. Pretty fun. Also, if you are looking forward to some more stuff, I'll be having it up soon for you guys. Some more trailer reactions. Inside Out 2 review coming up soon. So keep your eyes up for that one too as well. And eventually Bad Boys, Ride or Die eventually here. I still have to go see it. But yeah, just keep up watching, keep on trekking. If you haven't checked out my Patreon page, definitely check it out. Got all kinds of cool stuff you don't get to see on my YouTube channel, people. So go check it out.
Okay. Thank you, Cybernetic Shark. Sure, were you about to say something?
I caught Inside Out 2, by the way. I took my kids to go see it yesterday.
That's awesome.
Right. Saw it on Monday.
Nice.
J-Red 2000.
Yep, that's me.
That's a badass banner.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So
talking about AI earlier.
So, right? Yeah, I know. I use it for some of the stuff. It's fun. It's for like pictures and stuff. You play around with it, but yep, that's my Facebook page for the podcast. I do post audio on Spotify and Apple. So the content that I do is available through there if you're, on the road and you obviously can't use your phone for that media. It's an audio as well. Got a podcast show tomorrow with Jeff, as you can see right there. You can't see the time, but we're going to be talking about Demolition Man. So, and what happened in 1993, because that's the year it came out, 1993. It's going to be fun.
What kind of shit is this?
It's
What's the 2 cheese shells? What?
J-Rat, I can never find your podcast on Apple. When I put in a podcast Odyssey,
that's what you call sex these days?
Because you have to put J Rent 2000's podcast Odyssey.
Oh,
yeah, that's why. You just put J Rent 2000 podcast Odyssey, and it'll pop right up. That's it. As soon as you put the name, because it's so unique, you'll get it.
Oh, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, if you put Podcast Odyssey, you're gonna get like a zillion or like a bunch of other podcasts. But if you put J-Rent in front of it,
I thought you were just a Podcast Odyssey. I didn't know.
There you go.
There it is.
Yep. Look, fun time with Jeff Sabloda. See?
It's always a fun time.
And then part two. And then part two. And part two on there.
There you go. See, look at that. I'm dominating. Without me, I'm the show. Right there. Look at that, folks. I'm carrying the weight. I'm carrying the weight over at that motherfucker.
Yep. Well, we went on a hiatus, but we are I'm starting to come back together. Yeah.
I totally forgot about my podcast now that we brought up the podcast. But not to be fair, I'm taking a break from it for like a while, so there's not going to be anything coming up on that.
I'm sorry I didn't pick it up, Raymond. By the way, all the ladies that meet me also say that they have a fun time with me. Okay, USA, just to be clear.
Okay, USA.
And there's usually a part one.
Like
of
a rejected G.I. Joe idea.
There's also usually a part one of the part two when we get together, just like with J-Red 2000. So Anyways, folks. Yes, I'm going to be guesting on a podcast. Honestly, are we going to be on Kick or are we going to be on Facebook tomorrow night, J-Ret?
We're going to be on Facebook tomorrow.
Oh, geez, we're going back to Facebook. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go Facebook. So,
that sounds like fun.
Got to get back on that horse there,
That's right.
Where I started and then we're the Kick is an experimental thing. We're getting that area going as well. Eventually, we'll probably have a mesh. Maybe they'll be both live at the same time. But we're experimenting. We're doing different things. We're trying to, trying things. And then you're on the ride with me for that.
We should rip Raymond off and do some 90s trivia over on Kick.
Hey, how about you know his ideas? How about you lick my asshole, Jeff?
Look, 90s trivia is fun, bro. I'm telling you, one time I was in this random Facebook podcast, group or whatever, whatnot, and some fucking guy threw a show link out one night, an hour before his show, and said, "I'm short, a guest for a 90s trivia night." And I was like, I'm that guy where I was like, why not? Screw it. I don't know any of these people. I'll jump on. Fuck it. I jumped on, and we did 2.5 hours of straight 90s trivia, like our top 5 picks of the best 90 TV series, the best serious ones, the best farcical ones or whatever. And we just talked about the 90s television series for hours. It was fun, bro.
Yeah, my trivia is not going to be that crazy. It's just going to be kind of like what kind of closes it. We're going to just kind of splurge more about what we liked about it and stuff. Of course, while we drink.
Well, folks, I'm coming back. I'm in uniform. I've decided that I'm going to be in uniform when I moderate for the rest of Acolyte. In dedication to the series, I'm going to be in uniform as a Tusken Raider. So when you see me next time, next Wednesday, I will not look like I do right now. I will be in my alter ego as a Tusken Raider translator. Taking classes at Phoenix University. With Soul. He's taking his English classes there too. We're hanging out, kicking it, and all that. But either way, thanks again to everybody that came out. Thanks to all the guests. We appreciate all of you out there in our live stream audience. We appreciate all of you who consume us in, video, audio form. As always, do us a solid. Consider subscribing, following on whatever platform you find us, liking, all that good shit. Turn on all notifications on our YouTube channel. Support all the creators on the show. And, other than that, God bless everybody out there. We will see you on Friday for The Crow at 9:35 p.m. Eastern, 6:35 p.m. Pacific. Cyber Shark will be moderating on that one, too. We're going to have a big panel. Should be a great show. We're going to have a first-time new guest on the show, too. That'll be fun. Can't wait. So we'll see you next time. Till then, we'll leave you with this.
Oi!
This It's a little something to connect to episode 3 of the Acolyte. Right there you go. Perfect connection. A little image for you to go, something for you to go to bed with tonight, you know?
Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome, sir.
If I gotta do it, I'ma do the most. You say pay to see